It's a huge market, yeah. But again, it's the people who receive it, can they accept it in the first place? Thanks.
Okay, I have a question for Mr. Loi. You mentioned that you started Ya Kun as a breakfast meal, remnants of the old times. So were you not concerned that this limits your market to the breakfast market only?
Yeah, in a sense, yes. If you want to stick to your core product and your brand, it's one thing. If you stick your brand, depends on what you want. You want, I mean, called fame or fortune. I mean, that's nothing to do with it. Depends on what you want. The brand is very important. I mean, you want to stick to your brand. Sometimes some certain things you have to sacrifice. You can't have everything. You can hold pie and eat it. It's not fair. So, but certain things you have to sacrifice. So in that case, for our case, we spend a lot of time on the brand building, the ownership, and then this brand had to go out first. Once you have fame, the fortune will come. In a sense, people associate with the brand. It's a guaranteed kind of thing. People know, hey, you're good, Ya Kun. You sure you can get guaranteed a kind of a return. Make sure that you get a nice cup of coffee, nice kind of a toast. So you have to work on volume for our kind of business, on volume. But if we diversify, then your branding will dilute it. Let's say I'm going to sell nasi lemak, if I sell mee rebus, if I sell whatever you have, let me sell for you, Then my brand is all diluted, I can find chicken rice at Ya Kun, I can find chicken rice at nasi lemak at Ya Kun. So the brand will be diluted. So it affects your bottom line, true. But as a result, we had to increase our menu. And then make sure that we open more outlets. And so we make sure that, we have loyal customers like all of you. Come back every day. I'll be very happy. And I say thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian. Regina, in terms of copyrights, how does one copyright creative IP, for example, original artworks?
Okay, there's no registration regime for copyrights. Copyrights arise by operation of law. It arises automatically once the work is done. And the author and the ownership of that copyright is really the author of that work. So there's no registration regime. How you protect it in that sense is really to notice to the public. That C with a circle and a kind of year and the indication of who it's owned by. That's notice to the world. It's not like a registration kind of thing. It's really just notice to the world. But when it comes to enforcement, all right, then you have to go after the people take the work. Then you need to enforce it. And at that point, when you enforce it, you should be in a position to prove that you do own it.
Thanks, Regina.
Yeah. Okay.
Adrian, do you have any examples of crisis which has affected your brand? For example, food poisoning.
Food poisoning. Oh, that would be very drastic, really. So far, no food poisoning or anything that is very bad or just drastic. There's one simple case. I think this company have closed down already. In fact, they use our name. Actually, in English is K-O-N-G. Then Ya Kun. But in Chinese, it's the same character. So we just sent a lawyer. I think we did send a lawyer letter or just advise the person to not to use the Chinese character. But they're quite obedient, so they obliged, and then they took down the Chinese character. So the name Ya Kun is still there, but I think the company have gone close already. But that's one of the cases that we cited very very good example, because once you trademark it, nobody can copy it. So same as your patent or whatever, you trademark it, you register it, and make sure that it grow, and nobody will step into your boundary. So it helps, Regina here helps a lot talking about trademark thing. So we did trademark much earlier. In fact, overseas is also very important. Of course, nobody wants to copy us, in overseas, but locally it's very important. Even Malaysia itself, Indonesia, you need to trademark your product, your brand, so it will move faster than you expect.
Adrian, maybe you could also share with us your experience of how you started out branding initially without the funds and experience.
Okay, branding, I think is more like ownership. You as the top of the company, you need start from the top. to the bottom. I mean, you believe in branding, it helps. And for us, my wife and myself, we put our mind together. She do all the write up, and I do all the market survey. So what we did, we without any funding, without any consultant, we just have a kind of protective ownership. This cannot, that can. So we have to be very stringent in discipline in yourself. Make sure that you have a right focus, right target, that you move on. So as a result, from there we move forward, and you never know. It really grow until this stage, and we are very grateful about it. So I think basically is that without, of course, and now a lot of helps available. If you're not sure how to go about doing, you can consult SME or even Spring. They provide this kind of facilities, getting some brand consultant to help you develop your business. First, for us, as I said, we have no inkling, we have no experience, but I think it's the heart and matter. We protect it clearly because it's my dad's name, It's my dad's name. That's why the children, the sibling, have to protect it. Of course, that's the reason why I'm saying that.